My name's Ian Cheal, and I decided to do the End-2-End walk, which is from Land's End to John O'Groats. That's 1,200 miles, and see how it goes. I've done about a third, which is, 400 miles, and everything's gone absolutely well, and the walking's been absolutely great. I decided to do the End-2-End walk because I was 70 this year in March, and I thought if I don't do it now I never will. And I've had 2 hips replaced by the Birmingham Hip Resurfacing, and the first one was done in 2001, and the second one about 2004-2005, and they've actually changed my life. Yes, I started the walk on the 3rd of April from Land's End, and my family all came along to see me off, and we started with very cold winds coming from the north, which was full on our face, but at least we didn't get rain. The rains seemed to have ceased, and walked up the southwest coastal path, and then went to Barnstable and over Exmoor, over the Quantocks, and then the Mendips, and then walked up the Offa's Path, and now we've gone into Shropshire, where I'm speaking from now. And it's all gone extremely well. I've camped from time to time. We're mostly bed and breakfast, but sometimes there hasn't been the opportunity to get a bed and breakfast. Been attacked by dogs, and that was quite worrying, because the guy had 3 dogs, and they were on a leash, and one went for me, and I used my pacer poles to keep it off, but the guy had got to come out the guy's hand, the leash, and I said to him, for goodness sake, try and get this dog back on the leash, and he said, well, I can't, because the other dogs are far more dangerous than the ones that's attacking you. So that was quite an incident. It's been a tremendous experience being able to walk and finding that my hips have been up to it and are doing really well now. I'm doing a blog each day, and just a small blog, which is iancheal.com, and that's with a photograph, and it's fairly simple, and I'm just sending that out to people so that they know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I'm supporting 3 charities that have a social content with people. They've got a Christian aspect to them, but they are mainly for people who are homeless. I've been using 2 pacer poles, which have been really brilliant. They're not like ski poles. They take far more weight, and they can help push me up the hill, and they can help me come down the hill without having to have bangs down the steps and that sort of thing, and keep me stable as I'm walking along. I do need to protect not only my hips but my knees as well. It's all been good so far, and I've got every confidence that these hips will see me through. I found that I was getting pain in my hips, in my first hip, my left hip, and found that I couldn't go from day to day walking. I could walk one day and that was enough. The next day I needed a rest. And then that got worse and worse to the point where at night times I couldn't sleep. And at that point, and the same with my right hip later on, a few years later, was the same process, that I got to the point where I couldn't do what I want to do. And one of my hobbies is gardening, and the other hobby is my walking and mountaineering. I found I couldn't do it, and that got me into having my hips done. And I was fortunate enough to be advised to go to the Birmingham Hip Resurfacing Centre, and it's proved totally successful. I would recommend them to have the Birmingham Hip Resurfacing, particularly if they're active, but if they're whatever the situation, that they can get on with life as normal. I mean, when I asked Mr McMinn after the process had been done what I mustn't do, he thought for a moment. He said, "Well, I'm not too happy if you did a bungee jump." I'm never going to bungee jump, and I've taken him at his word on that. You know, I can do anything. I can do anything. So yeah, I'm just very careful. I'm careful too, but because I'm careful of being the age I am, I'm careful about my knees and my hips and everything. You know, you don't want to fall over when you get older, but. So I'm careful, but yeah, I can do anything, and you know, life carries on, and perhaps I can do more than most people because of the hips. I don't know. I want to thank Mr McMinn so much for doing such an amazing, such an amazing process, and for giving me back my hobbies to be able to continue for goodness knows how long, because they're just carrying on. I'm gardening and. I've just stopped windsurfing, but I'm gardening and I'm mountaineering and doing all these different bicycling and just carrying on as normal and playing with our grandchildren, and yeah, it's all going well.